of these certainly will have a tornado threat, okay? All right, so that's 8 o'clock. Let's go to 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. Everything is running along I-35, still back into the metro. Here comes the main line down I-35. It's 9 o'clock. This is where your severe storms are at 9 o'clock. Rain in the backside, not a big deal. This is the game at 9 o'clock. These storms are still rotating. That storm is still rotating. That's going to Tulsa. That's the storm that came into the metro. Okay. All right, that's going to Tulsa. All right. And then we've got another supercell out ahead of the line that's going up towards McAllister. That's another rotating dangerous storm there. But anywhere along this line, we're going to get what we call, it's called a QLCS. And a QLCS basically is a line of severe storms, and it stands for quasi-linear convective system. We just call it QLCS. So what this means is along this line you can get what we call QLCS mesovorticities or vortices, or you get areas of spin along that line. So we have two problems today. We're going to have the line itself with little spin ups along the line. Normally, those tornadoes are not that strong. They form quickly. That's a problem. So your warning time is short fuse on some of those that form on the line. The other storms that are separated will often produce the stronger tornadoes or the longer track tornadoes, those individual cells I was showing you. So it's kind of a twofold, double-edged sword here today with the storms as far as the tornado threat. We're going to have to watch those individual storms very carefully for possibly a stronger storm, a stronger tornado. And then we're going to have to watch the line itself for tornadoes, maybe a little bit weaker, but still fast moving. This line is going to move at 30 to 40 miles per hour. And that's pretty fast. That's pretty fast. And, it's going to be a solid line. Okay? All right, so let's get back to it here. All right, so there's 10 o'clock, folks. 10 o'clock. It is east of Oklahoma City. It is east of Oklahoma City at 10 o'clock. Tulsa's getting hammered, goes down to Shawnee, goes down to east of Ardmore. And look at 11 o'clock. Tulsa down to Durant. Okay? Nothing for Oklahoma City. It's long gone. Whatever's done is done. Whatever's done is done in Oklahoma City at 10 o'clock. Pretty much. Now, if this is slower, okay, we'll have to back this up some. This is just a computer model, but it does a pretty good job. And then there's midnight tonight. Tornado warnings and severe thunderstorm warnings still going for eastern Oklahoma. Okay? So let me show you what and again, what I'm going to show you next, don't be thinking, oh my gosh, he's showing us where the exact tornado tracks or paths are going to be. I'm not going to show you that. What I'm going to show you is what the model and where the model is placing rotating thunderstorms, or what we call shear tracks or rotating storm tracks. Okay, and it's where the computer model and the algorithms have basically spit out where these rotating thunderstorms and their paths are going to be. Does it mean there's going to be a tornado on every one of these paths I'm going to show you? No, but you get the picture when I show you this. There's going to be quite a few rotating thunderstorms, and some of which probably will produce a couple of tornadoes, several tornadoes, right? And then some that will not. And, and that's $1 billion question that we still don't know why. Now, we can look at a storm and say it looks tornadic or it's becoming tornadic or whatever. But why one storm here and then one storm 10 miles north does not produce a tornado, while this one does, and while the one down to the south doesn't. Okay, so we don't quite understand why, if you've got five rotating thunderstorms, they look very impressive on radar, why one or two might produce a tornado, or one and then the rest don't, even though they all look very similar in the same environment. Obviously something's different. Okay, I digress. All right, let's just show you here. But these are what we call rotating streaks or helicity streaks. Now you're going to think, oh my gosh. Now again, You're thinking, oh my gosh, it's across Oklahoma City. Yes, it is. It is. Now, here's what it has. It has that first storm that comes out and goes to Chickasha, to Moore, to Norman, to the southeast metro. That is a rotating thunderstorm, possibly producing a long track tornado as it heads towards Tulsa and comes into West Tulsa. That would be, if that were a tornado on the ground that long, that would be what we call a long track tornado. And that would be the worst case scenario. But the data has been pretty persistent. So notice where the tracks begin in the southwest, and they approach the metro, come through the metro, and it's that one lone storm. And I say this on the air, storms that stay by themselves are dangerous, more dangerous than any other storm, because they basically take over their environment. They don't have anything impending or impacting the inflow, the outflow, the downstream, the upstream. They are in their own environment. And a rotating thunderstorm in an environment like today, that is by itself, frankly, is not a good thing. That's when you get problems, okay? So that's why if you live from Oklahoma City out towards, even out towards Weatherford, down to Lawton, Hobart initially, Mangum, and then as you get farther east, if you live in Caddo County, Fort Cobb Lake, Chickasha, the metro is certainly under the gun to get rotating thunderstorms coming through Oklahoma City, which would obviously could produce a tornado or two. Okay, so again, I want to go back to not panicking. If you're new to Oklahoma and you don't know how we do things here, or you're thinking, oh, this guy's crazy. Well, I've been called worse. We've done this a long time. I spent over half my career chasing tornadoes, and I've done this a lot. And, I don't like days like today, but they are what they are, and they happen. So here's the thing. You just have to have a plan in place. Again, if you don't have a storm shelter, fine. If you live in a 2-story house, you got to go to the lowest level. You got to go to the center part of the house, right? Interior closet, interior bathroom, lowest level, center part of the house. Okay? Simply put. And we're going to be doing cut-ins this afternoon. I think at some point we will be wall-to-wall coverage. You'll be able to see us on many of our media vehicles, whether it's online or whether it's through the Roku app or the Fire Stick or however you watch us. Charge your phone. Know where your family's going to be after about 5 o'clock. Make sure everybody is in place. I want to point out northwestern Oklahoma is out of it. You're not going to have any tornadic storms in Woodward or Arnett or Gage or Buffalo or Fairview. You're out of it. You're going to get some rain, but you're out of that tornado threat. The tornado threat, here, I'll just show you. Give me just a second here. I'm going to put this on a radar map for you to see. So give me just a second. I'm bringing something up here. Okay. Okay. All right. So this is Oklahoma. I'm going to back this out just a bit. Everybody see Oklahoma here? Okay. Oklahoma City, right here. Okay. I think the tornado threat, honestly, is about like right in here. All of this. I'll draw a little tornado in there. Okay, I think Woodward, I think Alva, Enid, I really think you're pretty much out of it. Okay, and so I think southwestern, central, and then riding up into parts of north central. Ponca City, you're going to be on the edge, I think, from there, and then off into eastern Oklahoma. This won't happen until tonight. But so remember, this whole area is going to light up with storms first. Let me get rid of that just a second. Sorry. So as I was showing you, storms develop, right in here along the front. They go here in southwest Oklahoma. And then new storms, these move east. New storms develop here, right? come out of Lawton, Chickasha, Fort Cobb, and then these are the ones that come across the city. And we get supercells moving across into south central and eastern Oklahoma and through the metro into this evening from the southwest. So storms are going to be moving today. If you're thinking about going to storm chase or whatever, if you're not a veteran storm chaser, don't chase today. It's going to be messy and it's if you're not a veteran or professional storm chaser, don't go out. Just watch this thing. Just let these things happen we'll see what happens here. But I wouldn't go out today. So again, when I talk about the metro and the possibility of a tornado into Oklahoma City, the metro, I include a much larger area than just Edmond or Moore or Norman. I include Shawnee, and Shawnee is certainly in the bullseye. I include Guthrie. I include El Reno. At times I almost include Chickasha, even though Chickasha technically is just southwest of the metro, but Tuttle, Blanchard, Norman, obviously, Minco, El Reno, Yukon, Piedmont. I mean, we can argue this all day, and people say, oh, that's not the metro. Yeah, it is. Yeah, and I'm not going to argue with you. Just because I know what I call the metro, but I call the metro pretty much right here. If you draw a line from Guthrie to right here, Purcell, Shawnee, and up to Chandler. That's what I call the metro. Okay? When I say on TV, we're talking about the metro. And again, and I know the heart of it is a little bit inside this, but our population has expanded out so much that you really have to include, a little bit larger area than just Oklahoma County, okay? All right, so one more time. Let's see if we're getting some new data in here. Let's take a look. How far out are we? Okay, so many severe storms. These are all rotating thunderstorms into southwest Oklahoma, western Oklahoma, right? Tornadic, possibly. Here's that storm, two supercells coming through Grady County, right? And this is as far as the data is updated. But this is the latest and greatest on some of the data. And let's look at some of the helicity swaths. Now, again, this is only going through, there's 8 o'clock. And we have, these are helicity streaks, or areas that the computer model is pointing out where we have areas of spin, rotating thunderstorms leaving a path of rotation. These are rotation paths, or rotation tracks. That's basically, Norman. That's north, and Chickasha to Norman. That's going to be north of Chickasha up near Amber to far southwest Oklahoma City and across the metro. There's another one back here that comes out of southwest Oklahoma. Then there's another one that comes out south of Elk City that runs to the northeast. Okay, so that's what's going on with that. All right, so again, anybody in central, western, southwestern Oklahoma through 8 o'clock under the gun for large hail, damaging winds. And I didn't even mention the winds or the hail, not much anyway. Winds 70, 80 miles per hour, quarter golf ball size hail, and there might even be one or two storms that can crank up and produce some tennis ball size hail. I don't think we're going to have a lot of tennis ball size hail, but I certainly do believe that quarters and golf balls, okay? All right? Quarters, golf balls, winds 70, 80 miles per hour. Most people will see that because there's going to be so many storms. Most people will not have tornadoes, or most people will not have tornado damage, okay? That's just because, it's a large area, but I am concerned, I'll be honest with you, that the metro sees a tornado today, whether it's South Oklahoma City, whether it's Edmond. Nobody can tell you exactly where it's going to be, the exact path, whether it's Moore, Norman. The data has been pretty consistent for the South Metro. Okay. Is there possible tornadoes in Blackwell? Yes, Blackwell, you would be on the western edge of it, but yes, you would be on the western edge. I think it's a lower threat up there, but it's certainly not a zero threat. Yes, Bradley says, yeah, I did my rookie storm chasing in 2011, never again. Yeah, 2011, May 10th, or May 24th, excuse me, May 24th, 2011. Yeah, I almost died that week, or that day. Noble or Noble County. Let's do both. Noble County, severe storms. There is a tornado threat in Noble County and Noble, Oklahoma, down near Norman. Yes, there's a higher chance of a tornado down in Noble versus Noble County. Noble, the city, is down by Norman. CA, Tom, what about Edmond? Yes, Edmond is in the bullseye for sure severe weather and the possibility of a tornado, right? Okay. So let's go back here. I'll take a look at this radar image one more time. And then I'm going to have to get going. We'll be doing live Facebooks throughout the day, so we're not going to leave you high and dry. Hang on a second here. I'll go back. I'm going to show you this one more time. Oh, it's... That weather page has crashed. Well, I've got backups. Oh, yeah, don't you mess with me. I'll find some more data, don't worry. Okay. So let's go back to this one more time. When storms develop again in southwest Oklahoma, these are all supercells, rotating thunderstorms. These are rotating thunderstorms with a real tornado threat coming into the metro. That would be Oklahoma City. That would be Chickasha. That would be Moore, Norman, Shawnee. That would be Edmond. That would be Oklahoma City downtown. Not everybody that I just mentioned is going to get a tornado, but you're certainly in the line of fire with these storms, with those two storms that come through. All right? And then those move by, and then we get the second line in behind that, which is not good. I think the worst storms are these 2 or 3 out ahead of the main line, and then the storms in behind the line could still produce tornadoes and damaging winds. Okay? And we'll put on the helicity tracks here. And you can see these tracks of where these storms are rotating, coming out of southwestern into central and south central Oklahoma, going to Tulsa. These are all rotating thunderstorms, and some of these will be producing tornadoes. And I haven't talked about the strength of a tornado today. I definitely think we could see some strong tornadoes in there, EF2s, EF3s. There are some things that are not off the top favorable for EF4s or EF5s, but I think, EF1s, EF2s, and maybe an EF3 could certainly be there. And, things can change, and you can get a higher end EF4, EF5 tornado. But I think EF1s, EF2s, and maybe some EF3s, I think to be a little bit conservative right now would be where I would put that right now. Could change. But Oklahoma City is definitely the metro. The Oklahoma City, the Oklahoma City metro in central Oklahoma is definitely in the bullseye today to get a tornado. I've been telling my managers and our VPs and the station since Friday. I think, it's a real threat that the Oklahoma City, central Oklahoma gets a tornado this evening. Okay? So, anyway, just plan. Just be home this afternoon when this whole thing begins. Just be home and let this thing unfold. And you know what? We're gonna have everything. I mean, I've doubled up all the storm tracking resources from our sister station in Tulsa. They're ready to go. They're coming down to help out our guys and gals. So we're throwing everything at this, like we always do. We don't ever hold back. But this is one of those days where we want everybody to be weather aware. You need to know where your friends, where your family are. I'd say by 4 o'clock, know where everybody is and make sure everybody has a plan to get to a safe spot. If you want to go to a friend's or neighbor's house at 4 o'clock and just, they got a storm shelter, you don't, you're more comfortable there, fine. But if you don't have a storm shelter, you need to just be thinking, okay, center part of the house, lowest level, a first floor. Never want to be on a second floor. If you live in a mobile home, you have to be thinking about getting out, right? Maybe go to a friend's house that has a built home, not a mobile home, and staying within this evening, okay? So again, the possibility of a long track tornado is certainly there today. The possibility of a strong tornado on the ground for quite a while is certainly there today. And, that's my concern. And so we just need to plug in today, okay? It's all hands on deck at the station. Everyone's ready to go. Elk City and Sayre, you're almost out of it. You're so far west that you're almost going to be out of it. Everything's going to be just to your south and east. It'll be close. Stay weather aware, but it's going to be close. Okay? Lindsay, you're in the line of fire. Certainly, Lindsay, absolutely. Let me show you this map one more time. And these are rotating tracks of supercells. Notice where they are. Oklahoma City, South Central Oklahoma, but we're talking about Moore, Norman, Shawnee, Chandler, Tulsa, Altus, Mangum, okay? But notice Northwest Oklahoma is out of it because they're back here behind the cold front. But if I live from Mangum to Lawton to Pauls Valley, or actually take that back, to Durant to Red River, if I live in here, all the way into eastern Oklahoma. But again, eastern Oklahoma, you're going to have severe weather. You're going to have, there's going to be tornadoes over here this evening. Okay, midnight tonight. There'll be tornado warnings going on for eastern Oklahoma. All right, let me show you this one more time. And there's the line at 11 o'clock, midnight. Okay, these are all severe storms. There's midnight tonight. It's along Highway 75 up and down Tulsa, and then from there east. Tulsa to McAllister, all severe storms. Right, everything moving east. But folks, we got to watch these storms out ahead of it. And these are going to be moving. I mean, these things are moving. 40 miles per hour. Every bit of 40. So if you're not an experienced storm tracker, don't go out today. Leave this up to the guys and gals that know what they're doing. You need to be a veteran today. You don't need to be, I'm going to try this one out. No, don't do that. This is going to be at dark or getting dark, and it's not good. Yukon, you're in the line of fire. Emily, I would certainly stay weather aware in Yukon. Hughes County, a little bit later. You don't get storms in Hughes County until, let's say, 10 to 11 o'clock tonight. About 11 o'clock tonight, Hughes County. You're good until then. Waletka, Henrietta, yes. Shelby, Cornish, yep. Henrietta, yep. That'll move into Henrietta till 11 o'clock, give or take. Okay. All right. So, folks, that's the way it looks. I hate to leave everybody, but I have to get ready, and I'm going into work. So, we will be Pauls Valley. You're under fire too. Pauls Valley, yes. Pauls Valley, Ada, Oklahoma City, South, Southwest, Northeast, and East. It's a big, big area. It's not just a little tiny area that we're thinking here. Now, we're not going to have storms over those areas, but every one of those areas can certainly get it. You're going to get storms. Everybody's going to get storms. The question is, where is that tornado threat? And the tornado threat is from central, parts of western, southwestern, southern, eventually southeast and eastern Oklahoma. Okay? Okay? Someone said PDS, Tornado Watch. Possibly. They might go with that today. Storm Prediction Center. Probably will. Probably will. And that just means, particularly dangerous situation. I would lean towards yes. They will do that today. Just because several reasons. The data supports that, and also it's Oklahoma City metro area is in the line of fire of that. Okay? So I think they've got that, and they do a great job down there at the Storm Prediction Center issuing the watches, and I think they'll probably do a PDS watch. So the watch will be out by 4 o'clock or so, and we'll be ready to go. I will be in a 4-story warehouse by Will Rogers. No, you need. I don't know who wrote that, but you don't need to be in there when storms are headed your way. You know, and if you're working some way in one of these big Amazon or whatever warehouses around the city, I mean, you need to stay weather aware. Tell your bosses, hey, if you're new here, you know, things can get nutty here. So we need to be prepared, whatever that means. People go home early from work. I don't know. You know, I don't know what your plans are, whatever. But everybody in Oklahoma that has a business that works every day, Monday through Monday, you got to have a plan, especially with a large area full of people. All right, these are the days like this where I worry about casinos that are packed full of people, and a lot of these smaller casinos, folks, you know, you're kind of on your own. And these big open spanned areas just are not good for severe weather. Luckily, we've never had really a major event that's, you know, resulted in a casino being hit, but there's so many casinos now, and you know, I worry about casinos. I do. I worry about it a lot because people get in there, they unplug, they're playing their slot machines, and they just completely unplug to what's going on around the rest of the world. And then when the casino notifies you, what are you going to do? You're in a big building, and it's you got 20 minutes to make a decision. You know, what are you going to do? Crescent, Rush Springs, you're on the target today for severe storms and yes, possibly tornadoes. Okay. All right, everybody. I've got to get to work. It's 11:30, and again, I will see you later today on all social media platforms, ready to go, and we're fired up. And again, don't panic, just plan. Okay, don't panic, just plan. It's all good. All right, folks. Hey, we'll be seeing you here a little bit later. You guys have a good Sunday and stay safe. Okay.